Hello, folks. It's been a while since I've popped a video up. I've been pretty busy, um, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Same for everybody. But generally, then less time for this kind of stuff, um, and less time for introverted thinking or overthinking, if you want to call it that. But I'm actually quite fond of it. I get quite a kick out of following a thought thread and then seeing where it leads me, seeing what it really means for me. I quite enjoy a certain level of introspection. And I wanted to tell you about a phrase that I had heard that stuck with me for quite a while. It's been floating around in my head for a few weeks. It was called, I can't remember where I heard it, but a committee of one. And now that I can't remember where I heard the expression, I can't remember in what context it was brought up. But the context that it hit my brain in was the idea that that you're fairly self-sufficient in kind of what you're doing, and that you rely upon yourself to be accountable. And maybe this is a really familiar phrase for lots of people, but it's one that's certainly new for me. Maybe it's a business phrase, I'm not sure. But it hit home for me because of the idea of being a horse trainer and a rider and a teacher. And the idea that we have a responsibility when we ride and train horses to hold ourselves accountable and be sure that what we're doing is really driven in the right direction and driven by the right motives. And it's easy to lose direction with that, just with life and being busy and stuff happening. I think it's easy to just kind of go through the motions or get led astray or get frustrated and then lose direction. But certainly it's something that stuck with me, that from the point of view of being a teacher, it's my job to not just be somebody's accountability coach, but to help make, see, that already sounds a little bit harsh and tough. And I suppose that's something I need to be aware of, is not to be too harsh on my clients. But that my job is not just to teach people, but to teach them how to, I suppose, kindly hold themselves accountable for what they're doing with their horses. So I'm not just giving them a little bit of information and sending them on their way. We did a theory talk tonight as part of the evolution of education, we're calling it. So theory talks all over the winter. And tonight's was on movement and exercises. And what I didn't want to do is offer up a bunch of exercises for people to go away and repeat like hell, and potentially compound a whole bunch of problems. I wanted to give them the idea of how a horse should be receiving an exercise and really make sure that that's being received properly before they start repeating something. So that's what I see my role as, with the teaching, is giving somebody the training tools to support them at staying on the right track, and to give them a mindset or a skill set to be able to explore where their instincts are going, where their training is going, where their motivation is going, so that they don't stray too far from the path. Acknowledging that that's a normal thing and an easy thing. So we fall off the path and we come back on again, and we fall off and come back on. And not being too harsh about that. And that's definitely a life lesson I need to learn, not being too harsh about stuff. And I am acutely aware that a lot of the harshness and judgment that I send out is a reflection of the judgment that I send in. You know, that I'm particularly tough on myself. It doesn't mean I'm any more successful at anything, but that's just the default. But making sure that in an effort to shy away from being accountable, that we don't shy away from giving ourselves that support system, giving ourselves that help and guidance, those rails to help keep us on track and remind us why we're actually doing what we're doing. So, committee of one, for me, it is everything that it sounds like. You are president and chairperson and treasurer and secretary and marketing officer and all of those things that probably everybody in business now, anyone who's running their own business, you have to do those things instead of just being able to do the thing you're trained to do, which is just, for me, write or teach. But that you are a full committee and everybody is on the same page. We've all got the same mission statement. And I suppose I wanted to make people aware that that feeling is there, that thought process is there, that weightiness is there, and let them know that they can take a little bit of comfort from knowing that when they're having a lesson, that it's not just a bunch of exercises, it's not just a thing you're doing, but that there's a thought process behind it. There is substance and there's movement behind it. More is coming, more is happening, support is happening. That I'm not just giving you something that I think is maybe, theoretically applicable, but I'm trying to give you training, exercises, movements, moments that are actually just demonstrations of a skill set that I think will make it easier for you to be a better horse person and a better rider. So know that the training is all encompassing, it's wholesome. I don't just step in and teach and step out. I am sitting and thinking about you and your horse, at 11 o'clock at night. I am thinking about how best to have you receive that information, but then to be able to decipher the information yourself and use it in another moment on another horse. So I think it's a phrase worth hanging on to. I think it's a phrase worth keeping and reminding ourselves. A committee of one. Okay, thanks for checking in. I'm hopefully going to get some more videos up. It's turning winter here, so there's more dark evenings, so more time to sit in front of this with a gin and tonic. So cheers and talk to you soon.